but yeah, I mean, there's still a couple of different levels to take a look at, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about this little alt rally here, where BTC went sideways for January. I mean, alt rallied, it was insane. This kind of a retest to here at some stage suggests that we could be, still going a little bit sideways, and I think that the timing over here will be a lot longer. It doesn't have to obviously happen, I mean, this could have just been the weekly open, test down to demand. This is the new weekly low, pretty much exactly what happened here, and we could close with a gigantic dildo all the way up to like 65k. So yeah, I mean, it's not an exact science, right? But you got to kind of try and time for these things. And obviously, if you were super over leveraged today, you were in a lot of trouble, right? So I'm just going to go through Bitcoin, kind of what I think about it, and then we'll do the Ethereum and the link. And then we'll go through follow the money charts. We'll quickly take a look at Radian, or the new listing on FTX, and then I'll go through a couple of OG coins and some DeFi. DeFi didn't drop as badly as what I thought it was gonna, and I think that was kind of purely because it's still really, really expensive to get out of your trades, right? So I think a lot of guys are holding on for dear life. But I mean, it would be a humongous liquidity event if, DeFi really started crashing. And if you take a look at this, I mean, it's only, I know it was a lot worse earlier on in the day, but I mean, like a 20% move, especially like on some of them that have already kind of recovered. It's not so bad, right? Like, I mean, guys can hold that, especially when it does cost you a lot of money to close the trade or swap back out. Anyway, yeah, so let's kind of get into it. I'm just gonna kind of delete everything here, and we'll just draw everything out, like we normally do. So on the weekly, there was just obviously the the weekly open, which wasn't really. Let me just see, weekly open, which wasn't really on the cards. I mean, last night I still, like I said, I mean, I definitely thought we were going to take out Sunday's high, at least, and then kind of come back down. So this has happened really quickly. I mean, we've ran the entire weekly candle of last week. The weekly low is still obviously intact, so we'll mark that one out. Weekly highs. Okay, I need to actually add a weekly lows. So let's do this one. Save joint. Sorry guys, let me just quickly fix this up. Text. I'm just going to call it weekly lows for now. Let me just save this as well. It's just to give me like a little bit of context as to, like on a weekly time frame where it was, right? We're then going to put in the weekly high. And I mean, last week's weekly high, if we do run that, then I would imagine that we'd just, carry on with the up. We can obviously zoom in on a lower time frame and then just kind of, judge price action a little bit. But, on lower time frames, we'll take a look. Yeah. So that's the weekly highs. On a daily, obviously today's candle, you can see kind of just tested this, this kind of demand over here. And if we had to draw out the demand properly, like on the weekly, it would be I would imagine it would be something like that. And it was like a pretty much textbook entry, right? So I mean, if you trading Bitcoin on a daily time frame, you can't really fault what went on here, right? And then we got like this pivot in the middle here of the week, and this is kind of where daily pivot, and this is kind of where like I had my first bid. So myself and my partner from Provoke, we obviously chat on the daily because we're publicly kind of trading our signals and whatnot off of a joint account on FTX. And pretty soon I'll be getting into some of the stuff that we're doing there. But yeah, I mean, going into a smaller time frame here, what we kind of got into this morning, and it was actually quite scary. So we bought the exact bottom here, this one over here, and the way that we got into that trade was obviously that's kind of almost too low. So let's just see how so I think the first entry that we got was on this demand here, and we bought pretty much the top of it. So let's just make that demand. I think that we actually bought this, so it was like 53,100, somewhere there. And obviously we got like quite a nice bounce, went against us and we left it. Then we finally bought again, went against us, and left it. We converted most of our USDC stack over here into Bitcoin, so like at the 50Ks, somewhere here. And then we finally long this retest. Overall, like the price action was a bit really funky, but what happens when you kind of see this funky, price action, like a major pin bar type of thing, you kind of know that guys are accumulating, right? So this is pretty bullish. I definitely feel like if we go back onto the daily, you now got this really ugly supply. So price has to kind of come back into this area. I mean, it doesn't have to, but once it does, and then we'll kind of see if there's more of a sell-off, right? So for now, because I'm still pretty bullish. I mean, this is a crazy wick. It could have just been, there to take out all the over leveraged guys. But yeah, I mean, like in context of the entire thing and the range, I mean, it's only like a 13K range. And when I say only 13K range, we kind of got really, like in 2017, where price would be moving like 1,000 or 2,000 a day. You're kind of expecting this type of volatility like on Bitcoin. So I just want to mark out this price because this is like for anybody that kind of trades PA, you didn't really want to lose that, right? Because if you lost that, you would then have a new low. So you kind of want price like on the daily just to be closing above this 54,200, because it's just a level to kind of watch out for now. On the 4 hour, we can define these a little bit better. So you got this one over here, which is quite ugly. And then, because on the 4 hour, you kind of did have a close underneath that. This could be, like a retest, and then we could see like even further lows, right? So if you're going to be trying to mark out an OTE, you are probably going to be going, you know, like from the top to there. And that OTE, which I'm going to mark out now, is quite important, because like if we can close above that, I think that I'd be feeling a lot more bullish. So I'm just going to do it like that. I'd definitely be feeling a lot more bullish if we could close above there. And then obviously you want to kind of see this 4-hour block basically just get broken, retested, and then price move. And for this kind of down leg, you are looking at even buying a retest to the OTE, right? So once price goes up here, you can set all your alerts in this box and in the OTE, right? Because it could do that before it reaches the top. And when I say the top, I mean just, you know, like for this move. Yeah. So I mean that's pretty much like where my thoughts are at for Bitcoin. I'm still holding the long. The long that we took. The second long that we took, we actually took like I think at 51,500. So it was like somewhere here. And probably would have been better if we had just waited for like the, you know, price to kind of retest into that level. I had them in here. Luckily I fell asleep and I didn't freak myself out about that. But yeah, I mean, it's just like one of the perks about being less over leveraged, right? So I'd rather be making decent gains than, you know, running around with leverage on high time frames, especially when you know it's seriously volatile. There's loads of guys that are over leveraged. You could see that in the funding rates. And you kind of knew at one point the market was gonna, you know, teach those guys a lesson. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're at for now on Bitcoin. I definitely like the move up. On Ethereum, yeah, I mean Ethereum, yeah, it completely blew out all of these. I'm gonna start on the weekly though, and then we'll take a look. So, sorry. Ethereum, I got the alert today. It was a terrible alert though. Okay. So let's see. So last time we spoke, we kind of had like this as a major demand level, which is also like kind of a pivot all the way back down to this range. I mean, I wouldn't really ever expect it to come down there, but yeah, you know, possible. Anything is. And then once we broke out of here, you kind of got this new range, which is the top there and, you know, like the bottom there. Let me just change this to range. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of trading above the 50%. It's still pretty bullish. It did lag quite a lot behind Bitcoin, and once you go into smaller time frames, you'll kind of see that as well. But yeah, I mean, right now the BSC or the BCS or whatever that new rage is on Binance, you know, this could cool down a little bit for now, unless DeFi just, you know, goes crazy. Okay, then on the daily, I had marked this 2000 just as like a psychological level. So let's just mark out the daily high here and the daily low there. And I want to extend this line just so you can see like what stops got run, or whatever. So I mean those are still alive, right? And then all of this got wiped out. So you got a seriously ugly area over here of supply. It's not nice. I mean, it's that's like a typical candle like this almost has got a bit of a reversal written on it. You know, like it's not maybe just a temporary top or something like that. It seems, you know, pretty strong. However, you know, like once we got into this area, because on the daily you would have marked this one out like this, yeah. So I mean that's pretty bullish in itself, because you kind of still got a low, and now you got a higher low, and I think anything, same as on Bitcoin, anything closing above there, on the daily, still keeps ETH pretty bullish, or ETH, pretty bullish. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the thoughts on Ethereum. Let's just go down to like a 2 hour. Yeah, you got quite a few stops to run here on the way up. At the moment, this is, you know, it could be a bearish retest, but I mean, if you take a look at this volume, I definitely feel like a lot of guys got filled here, and there was obviously quite a lot of shorts puking. So major volume spike, you know, price still kind of in this range, in this like top range, pretty bullish. I don't think this is going to be a bearish retest, but it closed like kind of above here, and then I mean I would probably draw this like this purely because it's so many levels, but then, you know, you could maybe open up a little bit of a hedge here if you're worried about Ethereum, and like I said, just from the types of candles that you've gotten, we'll see how price reacts up here, but if you kind of see a little bit of bearish PA, you know, like, you know, you'll be looking for something like that. But yeah, I mean, it could just break above here, kind of chop around here for a little bit, and then, you know, go on for new highs. So it's pretty much no trade zone for me. I did get the alert. The alert was somewhere here, which I didn't trade. Like, I was really into the Bitcoin. I just wanted to make sure that I got a really good entry into Bitcoin, and then I fell asleep. So yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at Link. Now Link, I posted yesterday on Twitter that I thought that, you know, like Link would just go on. There was loads of good news coming out of Link. Yeah, so I mean I was pretty bullish on it. Definitely taught me a lesson. You can't just draw a triangle and then expect it to work. Yeah. So yeah, you know, like the weekly, you don't want the weekly kind of ending down here, otherwise you got a seriously topping pattern, same as Ethereum. Yeah, so I mean, like anything down here, you would be pretty bearish. You'd pretty much be looking at shorting any of these types of things. And you know what? I mean, it could potentially play out quite nicely. I mean, it's a pretty good trade, especially that you know, on a weekly you've got like a high, and then a higher high, and now you got a low, which is even lower than this one. Yeah. And then you'd have a close below this, like down to here, and yeah, I mean, then you could pretty much say we might just be going sideways. But I mean, what's awesome about these altcoins, it's insane if you look at, like, you know, like if you have to take a trade from there down to here, you got a 14% move. I mean, these become awesome setups, especially on lower time frames. Yeah. If we get into the daily on Link, yeah, kind of fell out of that wedge. And it basically ran all of these stops. Yeah. Okay, so these are still intact. These are marked out as a double bottom. So you'll see what I do is I go into trend line, and then I just use the shift button, which allows you to draw it straight. Yeah. And then it's just marked as, on the trend, it's just marked as a double bottom. Yeah. So it's just something for me that I like putting out there, because if you kind of, if you do kind of look at Ethereum's run, the double bottoms kind of never get touched. Yeah, like it's just something that I noticed. So you got that double bottom, never got touched, right? You can argue that this one's kind of like a double bottom, which never got touched. And then all along here, like on smaller time frames, you got double bottoms that are never touched. This one now, still not. So yeah, I mean, like a close above here, super bullish. It'll probably continue. You don't really want to see, and it's pretty much the same on Bitcoin and Ethereum. You don't really want to see this like middle of the range kind of, you know, a close underneath there today. Because then you'd probably imagine us, you know, coming down and testing this demand. So yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't really trade any of this right now. It's just bad spots. But you do have a range high here and you got the range low here, right? So, you know, sideways motion in here, you could pretty much, you know, increase your link bag by quite a bit. Right, and I have link marked red as like a major purely because there's a lot of volume that goes into this, like on a daily basis. It's insane, and it kind of has the sentiment of all the DeFi coins in it together, right? Okay, so let's go on to follow the money. I'm gonna be quite quick on these, but I mean all of FTX coins basically just pumped, man. Sam is a genius, bro. Like. Right, so we got Sol. I mean, I had bids in here. I've been wanting to buy this ever since it kind of broke out of here, and I never get in. I marked this out. I think I even had the weekly OTE in there. I think I had some bids over here, and I mean everything just got front run, and I think that like we've basically done like 18% for the day or something, 48% for the day, which is, you know, scary. Serum. Now Serum, I actually had the entry, but I got a bit greedy on the setup, right? So normally, and you'll see in a couple of videos that will come, that there would be my bids. But I got super greedy and I actually placed them like, I think it was like halfway of this range, yeah. So all of these didn't get hit. So yeah, once again, cucked, purely out of greed and not having enough balls, I suppose, to buy this. So I missed out on that one again. Perp. Right, so Perp, on my personal account, so we haven't traded this on the bot yet. My personal account, I bought there. I should have taken profit at the top here. I didn't. I thought I then got lucky, and now I've got to contend with like a really ugly block over here. So if we mark that out, let me just do this. So it's cool. And I'll probably cap it off like that. Okay, cool. So we got like seriously ugly demand here. I mean supply. Here you got awesome demand. I think, you know, like this was, you know, like the entire weekend kind of move. So yeah, this could pretty much be seen as bullish, I suppose. But yeah, I mean these things come out and they're awesome until they get put on the perp contract, and then yeah, I mean it doesn't move as nicely anymore. On Bao, still holding. I added more to the bag over here yesterday. Overall, obviously we're still up because we bought, you know, we bought here, we bought here. I think I bought this as well, and then we added here. So yeah, I mean this is becoming a gigantic bag. Hopefully for the Bao guys and the guys that are watching the Bao plan, let's just quickly go into like a weekly. So the weekly doesn't look great, but what you can see is that you're kind of starting to get a you know, like a bottom. You got loads of wicks at the bottom, so you know that like on spot, guys are just buying this up every single time it comes into a certain level. And I would probably say like if we come and take a look back at this in like over a month's time, you know, we could see a huge accumulation range here, just because this project is seriously crazy powerful. And I definitely believe that it's going to be something key for FTX's DEX. Yeah, so for Serum. FTT, what can I say? Since Perps opened, you've never had a down week. I don't think that it's going to change anything. I had all my bids down here, nowhere close. I would probably imagine that if I go into the daily, this has almost made its, yeah. You know, like a close anywhere above here, super bullish. I can't even say anything about this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You don't really have like Ethereum where you're getting like lower lows, but purely because, you know, like, I mean, if you do draw that range out, you know, it becomes very easy to trade it. So break out above there. If it does just keep dying, you know, could do something like that. But yeah, I mean, like all of these coins are crazy. And then Flamingo, it hit the money, but I didn't have any bids. So yeah, that's pretty much where we stand on those. And then there was obviously news that came out yesterday on the FTX, and that was a release of a new coin. So let's just like get that on. So I think it's called Radium, but I think it's Ray Perp. Gonna get it in. Let me just quickly take a look. So it's Ray Perp. Okay, I think we might have to wait a little bit till it gets onto TradingView. Not 100% sure. Anyway, I mean, like, yeah, Ray is going to be added to follow the money, definitely. Radium's up. If I quickly take a look on the other account, since it opened yesterday, right? We're currently up 1,740%. So this is obviously like the the algorithm for the market making. So yeah, it's definitely something to take a look at. I tried to get in on the 5-minute chart yesterday. Also, just couldn't get in. So like, I think on all of these follow the money coins that I've listed, next week what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna try and get into these, you know, for real. Like I can't wait and kind of play less risky moves. Like you know, like you need to be owning these coins, and you know, like, I mean, it's almost going to be pretty much the same as BNB once Serum launches. You know, like the space is going to go crazy, and all of the technology that Sam seems to keep on adding, with terms of governance, contracts, market maker, algorithms, you know, all of this type of stuff. Like these coins, like you need to have them in your portfolio. And today was probably the day that you should definitely have made sure that you got exposure to it. And yeah, I mean, we fucked up, didn't get it. I'm gonna quickly just go through some of the OG coins, see if anything catches my eye. Ada, yo, unbelievable! The demand for this coin is insane. I mean, that's if the day closes like this or higher, this is seriously bullish. Fuck. Yeah. XRP. We did mark this out. So I mean, this should have actually been a short. But I don't like trading scam coins. There's just always something really irregular about their movement, so I'll just kind of leave it. EOS, Doge. This could be reaccumulation on Doge. I'll just keep monitoring it. Like, I'm just gonna mark this out as like a kind of range, because I'll show you what I mean. Excuse me, guys. So what I mean is that, like, you know, like, we've broken down from this top, and then this block over here has kind of been support. After that, you've kind of had two touches, and now you've had the stops kind of run this side. You've had the stops run that side. So this could still just go sideways a little bit and then, you know, carry on going. I would definitely not write off Doge. But I don't trade it. It's the same as XRP. ZEC, don't touch. BNB. Yeah. This is what I was talking about in terms of, like, Solana, Serum, FTT. I mean, these guys launched that that kind of, like, you know, BNB DeFi movement, and I mean, it's just gone insane. This first pump was obviously the guys that knew, and this is what happened when retail found out. So I mean, you know, once this kind of happens, you kind of want to be the guys in the know. So you want to be the guys that were getting in this first leg. And if you go look at Solana, you know, that's where we kind of are. Like, this is the first leg, and you definitely kind of want to just get into this coin. And like I say, this was really stupid of me. Like, I should have gotten into this. I shouldn't have, you know, kind of tried to get the most insane entries. It is spot, right? Like, I'm not over leveraged or anything. I'm just going to be buying it on spot. I mean, this thing's just going to keep on going. I wouldn't be surprised once it launches that you'd see like $50 Solana. It's just crazy, right? And a lot of projects are getting built in it right now. So yeah, great coin, man. OMG, let's just quickly take a look at LTC. Yeah, LTC was getting super shilled all over Twitter. I'm glad that, like, I took profits at the top here. This normally will slow down quite a bit, especially if, you know, like on the daily we kind of close below there. Then you kind of gonna have this old highs range, you know, type of thing. And then depending on what happens with the market, you know, like, we might go down or go up. So the minute that coins get overshilled on Twitter, like, I kind of lose interest. OMG, disaster. XLM, not bad. BCH, also not bad. So I mean, like, these super crazy wicks could all just be accumulation. We'll have to take a look at, like, money flows and total volumes on exchanges at the end of today, and just see, you know, like, what's going on. And then if we have to go into DeFi, I'll tell you which trade we did take. So we got in on a call made by some of our AI. So the script fired down at 1765. We reacted a little bit late. I think we got like 1850s or something. 1842, I think. So we got in, and now we super profit, right? And Atom has been moving quite quickly. If we have to just, you know, kind of frame up this trade, this was obviously demand on the daily. So yeah, I mean, like anything in there that you bought, as long as we kind of close above here, you know, you're golden. We are going to have a bit of a tough level up here. So what I did was I took this last swing low, got the OTE over here, and then, you know, you kind of can be looking anything between there and, like, you know, like that daily open, for quite a bit of resistance. But then, you know, like once it breaks out, like Atom looks prime, right? Like it's definitely moving. Loads of volume coming in. Super crazy wick, so probably giant accumulation. I mean, that's 1 week, that's the second week, right? Like it looks just all around really, really good. I want to go into comp. I'm going to leave A for now. I'm going to go into comp. Comp's kind of, you know, almost completely started to sell off, and I'm a little bit worried about it after the hack. But you know what is nice is that we got this double bottom, and it's cleared, you know. So we pretty much stop around these. So I could actually, you know, start maybe changing my thesis up a bit. And the reason why I say that is because what if the hack was insane, and, you know, things were really not looking good, then I suppose I would start thinking, you know, that there's something fundamentally wrong with it. But if there was, I would imagine that this just would have sold off really, really quickly, right? And basically all that it's done is just like stopped out, you know, some of these great long entries, but on over leveraged guys. So it's just one to watch. Like I'm not in comp anymore. 1 inch missed. Same thing. I wanted to get in here. Look, you know, like I'll continue to kind of monitor, you know, price action. You know, these big wicks could, you know, just be like massive liquidations that are just getting bought up, and then, you know, we kind of come down for another leg. So I'm not going to change much on some of these charts. And I think the reason why I don't really want to change it is because I still believe that we could potentially come and see a retest to these levels, yeah. And if they do, like some of these projects were just insane. So I definitely think that I would pretty much, you know, get stuck in on spot and buy a hell of a lot if we do reach here. So I'm not too worried if I miss it. But I definitely feel like I'm gonna put in just a reminder here. I'm gonna add an alert. Yeah, so I mean, like if we break down here, and retest this old range, like I'm gonna buy as many as I can. Fucking great project. Dot still pumping. Cream, sorry, this was the one with the hack. Not comp. Cream. Yeah, this was the one with the hack. Yeah, guys, so sorry about that. Like I don't mean to trash comp, but not looking hot either. Cream tested the demand area perfectly. I didn't have any bids, missed that. Vet basically just same thing. I mean, this is probably still going to go way higher. Sushi, you know, like all the DeFi stuff looking fantastic. Tomo, massive. I mean, like I think I drew this one out on a 4-hour level. Yeah, and I mean, it would have been a great buy, but this is insane, right? So I'm not sure if it's guys taking profits in projects, or if it's just guys like, seriously pushing down price, that have big bags and have the ability and have loads of Ethereum to unload their bags at a certain level, and like kind of buy ins locked in at a premium, and kind of locking out all the plebs. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll go. This one was actually, I didn't mark it out, and I don't think we marked it out last time, but I mean, perfect, right? So like into that block, and if you kind of really want to be pedantic, that one got in, and I would have probably just marked out the block like that. I'll go. I did tweet about this the other day, and I got a few DMs afterwards, because I'd kind of bought like a retest of this breakout here. So I'd made quite a bit of cash, and yesterday I kind of said that, like, I've closed out my position. I didn't re-enter though, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, this could be a bearish retest. Yeah, I think a couple of the DeFi coins winners have been picked, and those guys are just gonna continue to shine. So like a lot of these projects kind of look like they've fallen off a cliff, and it's taking really long for them to kind of get back. That's normally guys taking profit. So yeah, let's see. I'm not going to go through every single thing here. Rune still looks really good. You got this classic high, low. Pattern, this is still super bullish. Matic, I think, still looks good as well. We even marked this one out. Yeah, so the silent stream that I do on the Wednesdays, yeah, if you watch some of those, it looks like a lot of these setups definitely came and hit. I did mark some of them up into my alerts, but I'm just really busy at work, so it makes it a little bit difficult for me to get everything in. So I'm kind of, that's why I've done this, so that I don't need to be watching, like a lot of everything. Currently, this is pretty much all that I will be watching. I'm hoping that this is a higher low, and then that we get all the way up here to 29. We bought this on 1x, so I mean it's not crazy, but the thing is that, like, you don't even need to add any leverage. Like, you buy it on 1x and you make 66%. Like, you've got to start looking at these types of opportunities in the market, and not play this like seriously leveraged game, right? On Bitcoin it's okay, on lower time frames. Scalping these last week was pretty much the play, and then we got a crazy sell-off, and the ones that got bought up are just gonna moon. So yeah, just go through all your alts. Go through all your alt bags, take a look at what's really not moving that fast. But in terms of trading, like FTX offers major leverage, but a safer bet would just pick up a couple of these coins, and I mean it doesn't even have to be millions of them. You could pretty much double a $600 account, just by buying some of these things low. So I still think we've still got quite a long way to go in this bull market. Like, I really don't think that anything's going to come back. What I would definitely be looking out for, and I think you should start marking these out, are the quarterly plays. So like, go down into a monthly, and then just mark next month with a vertical line like this. and then we've got January, February, and then the whole of March. So this you would be moving up to the 1st of April. And if you look at that in terms of weekly, we kind of got 5 weeks to go. And where I kind of think we headed is that, we've got a lot of institutional buyers now in Bitcoin. So you've got like a whole bunch of guys that are buying it as an investment, and they're probably not gonna sell it. And then you've got a lot of hedge funds and guys that have probably got like really strict and hard rules about how much they're gonna hold. So, had they bought this beginning of the quarter, which was, here's the 4th of Jan. So let's say most guys started coming back in to the office over these 2 weeks, and they started, getting a whole bunch of money into these bottoms. They would definitely be looking at taking profit at these highs before they kind of, get back in again. So I still think we're going to see a little bit of a higher run, and then we'll see a nice correction before we carry on. And the reason why I say that is, like I say, these guys are just at the end of the quarter. They're going to be booking their profits, right? They're trading for funds. They probably are quite responsible with their customers' money, seeing as though they actually got into Bitcoin. So they would be doing the right thing, right? They would be taking some profits and just making sure that they book the profits. So yeah, I think this is definitely the low of the week. I don't think that we're going to come back down. I've gone through a couple of alts, which you guys should definitely do. The link to this FTX list is in the Discord, so you guys can join up there. In terms of Provoke, big news obviously coming out. The lockdown was pretty good. We spent loads of time just developing a couple of nice tools that we could put into the Provoke suite. So yeah, signing up on our ref on FTX and supporting us just allows us to make really, really handy scripts that we'll be firing in the Discord just to give you a little bit more confluence. So if you are trading Bitcoin and you want to get like some confluence in terms of your longer term trades and your shorter term trades, jump into the Discord, ask a couple of questions. Hopefully by the end of next week everything will be up and running, and use those scripts as you want. We are obviously automating on the back end as well. So once we've kind of got everything down, and we've tested a whole bunch of different strategies with the bots and a couple of these new scripts that we're adding. Automation obviously is getting quite close. So once this algo drops, it's going to be insane. So far the win rate is huge. In the Discord, the guys and I was one of them. It wanted a short and everyone was like, no ways, don't even believe it. We're just going to keep on pumping up only and the bot kind of was right. Closing at 48 obviously would have been an easy target for all the amount of spam that went into the bot channel. Taking the trade was difficult, and I don't know if anyone actually did. So hit me up in the Provoke Discord if you did, and congrats if you caught it. So just to round up, I still think we're kind of seriously bullish. One thing that might eventually happen, especially with quarterlies closing out, is that we might come down and test this holy 42k level, which I would love. And then like I say, I'm just going to be monitoring price action in here. I've got longs open on Bitcoin. I've got longs open on Atom, and yeah, I'm just going to be monitoring those two coins through the course of this week. If I add any new positions, or if I see anything by midweek, I will post it in the Discord. And I hope that you guys have a banger week this week. Shot for listening. I hope that you guys enjoy these things, and if you do, yeah, I mean, just drop a couple of comments, like the video, share the video, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good one, and see you next week. Peace.